Good morning, students. I am Srimati V.V. Ramalakshmi, Senior Lecturer in Civil Engineering from Government Polytechnic, Vikarabad. The subject we are dealing with is hydraulics, and the subject code is 18C 404C. The topic we will be dealing with is fluid pressure measurement, and the subtopic is going to be the practical applications of hydrostatics. In that, we are going to look into in detail about lock gates. The duration of the class is going to be 50 minutes, and then I'm going to teach you with the help of some sketches and photographs. So let us go into details of the applications of hydrostatics. So students, in the previous class, we had seen about the sluice gates. That means which were openings inside the dams or to the sides of the canals. So a sluice is nothing but the meaning of a sluice is an opening. So a gate provided for an opening is called a sluice gate, and we had seen that there are pressures on either side of the sluice gate. That means on the upstream side and downstream side, we have found out the resultant pressure and then the point of application of the resultant pressure. So the objectives of today's class are going to be, upon the completion of this session, the student will be able to understand the purpose of the log gates, where the log gates are provided, then the different forces acting on the log gates, then relationship between them, then the resultant water pressure acting on each log gate, and finally the point of application of the resultant pressure. Then the location or the magnitude of hinge reactions and the related problems. One sample problem we are going to see how to apply the log gates solution for a numerical problem. So now let us go into details of the log gates. So students, in the previous class we have seen about the concept of total pressure, center of pressure, and then the pressure on the sluice gates. That means some of the engineering applications of hydrostatics is this sluice gate. Today's another application of lock gate. So now let us see what is this lock gate. So a gate is nothing but a way or means of letting in or letting out something which is going through that way. So, as the name is indicating, lock gates means it is going to locking means holding together. So, it is going to lock the quantity of water within the pairs of the gates. So, the lock gates are provided in navigational chambers. Chamber means it is a room like construction. So here to change the water level in a canal or a river. So this purpose of providing the log gate is to provide the change of the water level in a canal or a river, and then for the navigational purposes. That means to enhance boats to move on the either side of a bridge or a hydraulic structure. So where which is constructed over the water. So navigation means the making possible the boats to move from the upstream side to the downstream side. So all of you are fond of going for a boat ride or doing boating. So students, when it comes to uh, boating, when you come across a bridge, so definitely you have to negotiate that difference in the water level on either side. So to overcome this gap or to overcome the height of the water level, we are going to provide this log gates. Now let us see. Then the another purpose is for the safe movement of the ships from the upstream and downstream and vice versa. That means in the reverse way. That it means from the downstream to the upstream side also. So you can come from up to down or down to up. So anyway, the movement should be possible. So whenever there is a sudden fall in the bed level of the canal, so at this situation or under these circumstances, we are going to provide a lock gate. So now let us explore into the details of the log gate. So log gates are occurred in pairs. So two sets of log gates will be provided, one on either side of the chamber. So the working of the gates are following way. So first we are going to open the first sluice S1 on the upstream side and the gate G1 and fill the chamber up to the level L1. And then I'm going to just show you the figure. Then you will be able to understand how the working of the gates takes place. So here, yes, look here. So this is the log gates. This is the pair of the log gates. So this is a full log. That means water is coming from the upstream side, and then you have the logs here, and these are the ground paddles. So the log gate and the top side or the upstream side has been opened, and water is let in. So along with the water, the ship or the boat also comes into this chamber, and now you have to release this water. You have to release this downstream side lock. That means this is the bottom gates. These are both the bottom gates and these are the gate paddles. So paddle means it is meant for the purpose of the movement of the gate. So once this gate is opened, the water is going to slowly go from underneath the gates, and the level of the water inside the lock chamber comes down. So along with the water level, the ship or boat also comes down or goes down, and then once the gate is opened, it will just go to the downstream level and move as usual. So this is a figure 1 which is a full log. That means it is completely filled with the water. So now let us see an empty log. That means in the empty condition or in the closed condition. So let us see that sketch. So here in the empty log condition, the upstream side gates are in closed position. In the full log condition, downstream gates are closed. In the empty log condition, the upstream gates are closed. So here, look here, these are the bottom gates and these are the gate paddles which are going to enhance the movement of the gate up and down. So these are the, again here on the upstream side you have the ground paddles, and this is in the locking condition. So this is the lock chamber completely between the upstream gate and the downstream gate. So it contains each lock gate contains a pair of gates. That means two gates are going to make one set of lock gates, and one and another one here. So this gives you the idea how the log gates are going to appear and in the real time scenario. So here this is the empty log because it is in the closed condition, and right at the upstream end the gate is closed. So there is no question of anything entering or passing down. So first the bottom gates are closed and top gates are open. Then when the top gates are closed, then the bottom gates are open. So only one at a time will be opened. So this shows the sketch or the photograph of an empty lock. Now let us see. In this photograph, you have this lock gate and this lock chamber. Look here, the water, this is the gate 1, this is the pair of gates here, and this is the on the upstream side. Again to the other side you will have the downstream side. And see here, as I have uh, told you about the process of the uh, opening of the gates. So once this door or the gate is opened on the upstream side, the ship or boat enters in. So already the water level is there. So from there the water level will be lowered after the letting out of water and traveling downstream. So both gate paddles will be raised. So here this is traveling upstream. The uh, top gates top gate paddles are only raised, and then it is lowered and this gate is opened, and you will the boat is going to go out. Suppose you have to go against, that means from the upstream to the downstream. So what you are going to do is you are going to open the downstream gate and uh, make this boat or ship enter into the chamber, then slowly close this gate and then raise the water level. So along with the water level, once the water level is raising, the boat also raises along with the water level, and until it reaches to the top level, that means the upstream water level, then the gate at the upstream side is opened and the way is opened for the boat to go out. So look here, here you have this duckling indication showing the downstream water level, and here this duckling is going to show the upstream water level. So that means this is the target level where the object has to be reached. So here the position of the lock gates inside the lock chamber. So here, look here, the ship position 1 is this. So this is the upstream side, and then you have the sluice, that means the opening, and G1 and G2 are the lock gates. So this is G1, and here on the downstream side it is G2. So here G1, here G2. So this is a pair. This is one pair. This is another pair. And then the angle which the log gate makes with the vertical is theta. So now ship position 1 is shown to us. So with reference to this figure, and these are sluices 1 and sluice 2 for letting out or letting in the water. So let us describe this situation and see the actual scenario happening in this lock opening and closing positions. So then open the sluices S1 on the upstream gate G1 and fill the chamber up to the level LL. That means the up to the upstream level. Then open the lock gate G1 on the upstream and permit the ship to enter the chamber. Then close the gate G1 and then open the gate G2 or the sluice S2. Then you are going to permit the water to move out, and along with that the ship is also going to move out. So this way you are going to make the ship move from the upstream and to the downstream level. So here students, let us see what are the forces acting on the log gates. So here this is one gate, this is the other gate, and then so here the resultant pressure will be acting through, which is given by capital P, and the reaction of the gate will be to the edges. So here this is the reaction of the gate, and then the gate reaction, that means when the two gates are in the lock position, that means in the lock, that means when both are brought near to each other, so that position, when the gate is in closed position, you have a gate reaction which is going to be perpendicular to this conjunction point. So all these three forces are, see this pressure on the gate, when it is prolonged back, they are all going to meet at a point. So that is why all these forces are coplanar concurrent forces. So this reaction also is going to pass through the point of intersection of P and this gate reaction. So all these are going to meet at a place. So water pressure capital P, which is going to act perpendicular to the gate at the center of the gate. Then the reaction of the gate AB on the gate BC, which will be acting perpendicular to the surface of contact at B. Then hinge reactions capital R, which will be acting in the reverse direction. So when it comes to the triangle law of forces, so this is uh, from left to right, and this is also from top to bottom. So this is in the negative direction. So here the forces acting on the log gates are all the forces P, T and R. They pass through the same point of intersection O. So according to the triangle law of forces, if three forces intersect at the same point, comma, the system of the forces will be in equilibrium. That means all are going to balance each other and be in equilibrium. Then the relationship between these forces. So let us try to deduce a relationship between the gate reaction, the normal force and the pressure force. So let theta be the angle which the gates make with the width of the canal. So resolving forces parallel to the gate, sigma h is equal to 0. That means T cos theta is equal to R cos theta. So T is equal to R. Now resolving the forces perpendicular to the side of the gate. We have sigma V is equal to 0. So P is equal to T sine theta minus R sine theta is equal to 0. So with this we have, because T is equal to R, so we can take sine theta as common and make an equation. So this is equal to 0 means T plus R sine theta is equal to T. So R plus R, because T is equal to R. So you replace it with, replace T with R, you have R plus R, which gives 2R sine theta, and then when you want the great reaction, so R is equal to T by 2 sine theta, or T is equal to T by 2 sine theta. So here, when the angle between the gates in the closed position is 120 degrees, or when the angle between the gate and the width of the canals is 30 degrees, full stop, all the three forces acting on the gate are equal. So here, when it comes to this condition, so P is equal to T is equal to R, because sum of the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So when the intersection angle is 120 degrees, so we are left with only two angles. So 180 minus 120, that is 60 degrees. So they have to be both equal. That is why we are going to take two angles which will make the triangle to become isosceles, because you have two equal sides. That means the two gates are going to form the sides of the triangle. So here 180 minus 120 60 by 2. So you have each is 30 degrees. So all the three forces acting on the gate are equal. That is P is equal to T is equal to R. So now finding out the resultant pressure on the gate. So here this is the gate, this is the bottom hinge, this is the top hinge. So now H1 is the height of water standing on the upstream side, and H2 is height of the water standing on the downstream side. L is equal to the length of the gate. Then H1 is equal to head on the upstream side, and H2 is equal to head on the downstream side. Small h is equal to specific weight of the water. Then P1 is equal to pressure on the upstream side. That means the total pressure on the upstream side. Then capital P2 is equal to total pressure on the downstream side. Then coming to the P1, it is given as the pressure, because this variation is triangular variation 0 at the top and W1 H1 at the bottom. So if you take the area of this triangle, so that is half of base is W1 H1 into height is H1. So you get W1 H1 square by 2 into, it is going to act in the perpendicular direction of the plane. So where L is the length in the perpendicular direction. So similarly, we are going to have P2 is the pressure force, that means the total pressure in the downstream side, that is W2 H2 square by 2 into L. So here, when we want the resultant pressure, which is going to act at H bar from the bottom. So here, capital P is equal to resultant water pressure, and P is equal to P1 minus P2. As I told you, P1 and P2 are the pressures on upstream and downstream side. So P1 is acting from left to right and P2 is acting from right to left. So both these forces are collinear. So we can take the resultant as plus P2 minus plus P1 minus P2 along with the sign convention. So now the center of pressure. So for the triangular portion of this pressure diagram, so it is evident that the center of pressure is going to be located by considering all the three pressures. So now P1 acts at H1 by 3 from here. So from the bottom of the gate, and P2, from the bed level, and P2 acts at H2 by 3 from the bed level. So when you take the moments of the resultant pressure and the individual pressures, so we get P into H bar is equal to P1 into H1 by 3 minus P2 into H2 by 3. So here now you have P1 H1 minus P2 H2 by 3, you take it common and bring this P downward. So you get a value of P1 H1 minus P2 H2 by 3P, where capital P acts at H bar from the bed level. So now let us try to find out the top and bottom reactions. So let RT be the reaction of the top hinge and RB is equal to reaction of the bottom hinge. Then to capital R is equal to total reaction, that is RT, R is equal to RT plus RB. Now small a is equal to position of the top hinge from the top, and small b is equal to position of the bottom hinge from the bottom. So y is equal to distance between hinges, and so y is going to be the total height minus the top distance and the bottom distance. So y is equal to capital H minus a plus b inside the bracket. So now usually what happens is the location of the hinge will be usually 50 to 60 centimeters from the top or the bottom. So you can assume if the values are not given. So note, the water pressure acting on the gate will be such that 50% of the water pressure will be resisted by the hinges and the remaining 50% will be resisted by the reaction of that gate and the second gate. So here to find the reactions, to find the hinge reactions, we have to take the moments about the bottom hinge. Now let us do that. RT sine theta into y is equal to P2 by 2 into H1, P1 by 2, because you have to take the average pressure. At top it is 0, at bottom it is WH1. So we have to take the average pressure. So P1 by 2 into H1 by 3 minus B. That is the, you have to remove the top hinge distance minus P2 by 2 into bracket open H2 by 3 minus small b, close the bracket. So you're going to take the hinge reactions. Now RT is the top reaction into sine theta. We are going to resolve it into y. It is P H bar by 2 minus H2 bar H bar by 2 into P. So here into this is small b. So substituting, taking out P2 by 2, so here you have H bar minus small b. So coming to the equation, the bottom reaction plus the top reaction put together are going to form the gate reaction, capital R. So now the bottom reaction will be equal to the top reaction, the total reaction minus the top reaction, because always RB will be greater than RT. Always the pressure will be more on the bottom side than the top location. So RB is greater than RT since the pressure at the bottom is more. If the hinges are located exactly at the top and bottom, A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 0. That means the distance is vanished. So we don't usually put the hinges exactly at the top and bottom. So if we are able to put it in that way, you will have this A and B not to be there. So if they are hinged at a position at some 50 centimeters, usually the distance from the top and bottom. Usually, uh, as you see, you can just compare this log gate like a reaction which we have for the doors. See students, when you want to hold a door in position, so you need some hinges to hold the door and to make it open in and out. So for that sake, you can draw the same analogy, and then you can imagine the same way the positioning of this log gate inside the lock chamber. So uh, as the hinges will be located a small distance from the top and bottom, we can give this small distance as 50 centimeters from the top and bottom. So students, let us try to solve a small problem to enhance your understanding of this log gate problem. So this log gate, let us see numerical values. So a pair of log gates 7 meters is including an angle of 140 degrees in the closed position between the items. Each gate supports on two hinges because you need a top hinge and a bottom hinge in order to hold the gate in position and to promote its movement to and fro. That means to close and open. So at located at 60 centimeters from the top and bottom respectively. So if the depth of water on the upstream side and downstream side are 5 meters and 3.2 meters respectively, find magnitude and position of the resultant pressure reaction between the two gates, then magnitude of hinge reactions. So here H2 is equal to the downstream water level, which is given as 3.2 meters. Then small w is specific weight of water, that is 9.81 kilonewtons per meter cube. And then the distance between the hinges is y, small y, which is equal to capital H minus small a plus small b within the brackets. So totally capital H is 5 meters minus zero point 0.5 plus zero point 0.5. So the total value is going to be 5.8 meters. Sorry, it is 7 meters minus, both the hinges are at 60 centimeters each. So accounting to 1.2 meters. So when you remove 1.2 meters from 7, you have a value of 5.8 meters. So have you worked out, students? You should get a value equivalent to 5.8 meters as the distance between the two hinges. Now let the resultant water pressure be capital P, that is P1 minus P2. That means the total pressure on the upstream side minus total pressure on the downstream side. So which is equal to W H square by 2 into L. So you get a value of, have you finished, students, working out the value of WH square by 2? Please substitute. It is 9.81 by 2 into 5 square into 6 is the length of the gate. That means the width of the gate if you see in the plan. So you get a value of 735.75 kilonewtons. Now P1 is the upstream water pressure, that is small WH1 square by 2 into L. So you have 9.81 into 3.2 square by 2 into L. So please do the problem. Please work out. Substitute for the numericals. The specific weight is 9.1. The downstream height is 3.2. So 9.81 into 3.2 square by 2 into L is 6 meters. So you land up with a value of 301.36 kilonewtons. Now coming to the P2, the downstream water pressure. So W H2 square by 2 into L. So again, please apply the same formula and work out. So 735.75 minus this value. So you get a value of 434.38. So this is the net resultant pressure. Okay. So this has been just come a bit upside down. So try to adjust the values, and so P1 is this pressure and P2 is this pressure and P is the resultant pressure. So the first value minus this second value, you are getting value of ultimately. So what is the answer? What is the pressure difference between the upstream and downstream ends? Right. So let us proceed for location. So have all of you done the problem? Have you got the answer? Yes. The answer is 434.38 kilonewtons. So this is going to be the resultant water pressure on each gate. Now coming to the location of these pressures. So P1 acts at H1 by 3 from the bottom side of the gate or from the bed level, and then P2 is going to act at H2 by 3 from the bed level. So P is equal to is going to act, the total pressure is going to act at H bar, that means the center of pressure location from the bed level on the upstream side. So taking moments from the bed level, you have, so P H bar is equal to P1 H1 by 3 minus P2 H2 by 3. So bringing this P to the bottom side, P1 H1 minus P2 H2 by 3P. So 735.75 into 5 minus 306.36 into 3.2 divided by 3 into 434.39. So try to work out, students, and get the value of the location of the center of pressure, that is H bar. So H bar is equal to 2.082 meters from the base. So did all of you get the answer, students? Right. So let us proceed, and then here for the reaction of the hinges. So both the reactions are going to be R is equal to P by 2 sine alpha. So alpha is the angle which the inclined side of the gate makes with the vertical. So when the pair of gates is having an angle of 140 degrees between them in the closed condition, then you have this small isosceles triangle. It is going to show 140 degrees in the closed condition. So 180 minus 140, you get 40 degrees, and that divided by 2, because for an isosceles triangle you have two equations. So two angles are all equal. So 2 sine 20 degrees. Then the magnitude of the reaction between both these gates, it is RT is equal to P by 2 sine alpha, that is 635.03 kilo newtons. So let RT is equal to reaction of the top hinge. Then RB is equal to reaction of the bottom hinge. So RT sine alpha into Y is equal to P by 2 into HB minus small b. So taking moments about the bottom hinge, so RT plus RB is equal to R, that is 635.03 kilo newtons. So now RT sine 20 degrees into 5.8 is the distance between the hinges, will be equal to this P by 2, that is 434.39 by 2 into H bar is 2.082 minus zero point 0.6 is the hinge distance, that is 60 centimeters. If you convert it into meters, it is 0.6. So now find out the value of the RT. So then reaction of the top hinge is equal to reaction of the bottom hinge, that is equal to 162.26 kilo newtons. Then coming to the reaction of the bottom hinge, so 635.03 minus 162, you have a value of 472.77 kilo newtons. Now the resultant pressure is 434.38 kilo newtons. then the center of pressure, that is H bar, is equal to 2.082 meters from the bed level. So now students, here the R is equal to reaction of the hinges, that is 635.03. So here we have the top reaction is 162.26. So then the bottom reaction is 472.77. So now coming to the summary. So in this session we have learned about the various forces acting on the log gates in the closed position, and then we have the relationship between them, then the resultant water pressure on the gate and the center of pressure, then reaction of the first gate on the second gate and the hinge reactions. Then coming to the quiz part, all the forces, all the three forces acting on the log gate are P, T and R will be equal if the angle between the log gates in the closed position is 90 degrees, 120 degrees, 160 degrees, 180 degrees. So what's the right answer? It has to be 120 degrees. Right. Then a second question, log gates are provided in irrigation channels, navigational channels, inundation channels and power canals. So it is navigation canals. For the purpose of navigation only, these log gates are provided. Then the frequently asked questions in this area are, uh, you may get a problem or you may not get, but the description is important. So the ends of the log gates are 6 meters and 6 meters by 4.2 meters in the closed form and include an angle of 120 degrees. The width of the gate in the closed condition is 5.5 meters. Each gate is supported on two hinges placed at 60 centimeters from the top and bottom. So if the water levels are 5.5 and 4.5 meters on the US and DS respectively, that means the upstream and downstream side respectively. Determine the resultant water pressure, the point of application of the resultant water pressure, and the reactions of the gates, and finally the hinge reactions. So students, this problem is meant for your practice only. You may or may not get it in your end exam. Only thing is you have to know how the reactions are occurring, where they are occurring, and how to analyze, and what are all the forces involved in the log chamber. So description portion is only there in your curriculum. Only I have given you a numerical problem. I have explained and given you for homework also is for your own practice, because tomorrow when you go to some engineering services or some other competitive exams, you have to know how to work out or how to find all these parameters